If you want to gain thousands of Lumina in the fastest time possible, you are in the right place. I spent several days optimizing these Lumina farming methods so I can give you the fastest and most efficient spots that will save you the guesswork and a lot of time. Following these optimized methods will let you earn 350 to a whopping more than 3,000 worth of Lumina per hour. Like for example, farming the mini boss Clair Obscure over and over inside the monolith, which is the earliest spot that you can access in late Act 2 and can be optimized in the early parts of Act 3. My previous Lumina farming guide did not include this spot since in my opinion, you are better off leveling your characters first and using all of your gain color of Lumina from Act 1 and 2. It is already enough to progress your character till Renoir's Draft, which is one of the best spots in the game. But since a lot of you requested me to cover this method, here we are. For you to access this spot, head back to the monolith and notice that the first flag near the entrance will not let you fast travel. Head inside the actual monolith and access the first flag in the area and fast travel to the tower peak, and this is going to be the starting point for this run. I'm showing my early Act 3 farming build for you to farm this method efficiently. I highly suggest taking the time to follow all of my suggestions on the screen right now so you can replicate all of the strategies that I'm going to show you later on. At this point, you already know that the goal of my farming builds is to burst down all of our targets during the first turns for maximum gains and efficiency. So stacking up as much AP during the first turn and damage multipliers were the things I usually focus on. So Luminas or Pictos such as At Death's Door, Augmented First Strike, Glass Cannon, and Immaculate and so on are suggested. You get the idea. But this time, the Auto Death and Death Bomb combo is highly suggested to make your run significantly faster later on. I am using CL, Mayel, and Verso with a suggested level of 60 plus when starting this method. Before storming the comments, keep in mind that having a character level of 70 to 75 is not required for this method to work. I just recorded the footage late after countless runs when optimizing this method. If you just started Act 3 and you want to reach level 60 fast and be prepared for this guide, I recently covered the best of the best Act 3 or endgame spots, which you can find in the description or by clicking the card here. But the star of the show is Verso's Contorso weapon, which is currently bugged and can make enemy drops double rewards. When Verso deals critical hits while wielding this weapon, it will summon an additional lightning strikes which deal additional damage. The damage from the actual sword and from the lightning strikes make the system thinks that a specific monster has been hit twice, making the enemy possibly drop double rewards. For example, this specific spot only drops 5 Lumina per run, but you will have the chance to get 10 Lumina per run, and that's a lot. Get this weapon early in Visage Island, which I'm showing you the location on the screen right now. Once you are inside, find the JRPG Expedition flag and find the nearest crawling Nevron located near you. Beating this Nevron will let the Contorso drop. Now that the build is ready, start the actual method by heading to the intersection of the area. Expect a long travel time, and this is one of the reasons why I decided to not include this in my previous Lumina guide since it requires a lot of time to reset the run. But because of the Contorso strategy, this makes the spot viable. Once you are deep into the area, use the grappling mechanism to reach the other side of the area and find our key targets near your location. Engage the enemy with a preemptive strike, and once the battle starts, shoot Clair Obscure twice and take out one of the lesser Nevrons with your remaining shots. You'll be getting an AP refill after taking out the lesser Nevron, then do the same to the other lesser Nevron. Then finishing the fight by dumping all of your free aim shots on the boss. And after that, you can see that the rewards are doubled. Once the fight is done, head back to the flag by accessing the farthest grappling mechanism to save time. Access the flag to reset the run, rinse and repeat. Each run lasts around 1 minute and 32 seconds with loading times included, giving you 23k chroma and almost 690k XP and 5 to 10 Lumina per run. Keep in mind as well that the Contorso doubles enemy XP and chroma drops as well. Do this consistently in an hour and we are looking at 900k chroma and a minimum of 27 million XP thanks to the Contorso multiplier and 195 to 273 Lumina on average. Just in case you are wondering why Verso is fighting solo, I found the best rates to get double Lumina drop when he is fighting solo for some reasons after hours of testing, compared to when CL and Mayel are included in the lineup with the auto death bomb setup. In my observation, the explosion from the death bomb setup somehow affects the drop rate drastically. Keep in mind as well that this spot is also one of the best spots to farm perfect catalyst along with bonus Lumina in New Game Plus playthroughs. But what if you don't like using the Contorso bug or it has already been patched out? No worries, I prepared a backed up strategy for each of the methods on this list to preserve the effectiveness of this guide in the future. With a build that I asked you to follow, just put Mayel and CL in the party, head to the spot and engage the boss and watch them explode and end the match. Each death bomb run lasts around 1 minute and 18 seconds and gives you 11k chroma, 283k worth of XP, and 5 Lumina per run. Do this consistently in an hour and we are looking at 530k chroma, 13 million XP, and 230 Lumina per hour. Because we are not using the Contorso weapon, chroma and XP gains were such a letdown. But you are here for the Lumina and 230 per hour is decent, and you will also have the peace of mind that even the Contorso will be patched, you will still have this method. If you followed my recent Lumina and XP farming guide, you already know that Renowar's Draft is one of the best places to farm XP and Lumina in the entire game. One of the best methods of doing this is by simply finding the merchant over and over to gain tons of Lumina and XP in the process. For us to save time, I highly suggest checking my previous Lumina farming guide and knowing how to access Renowar's drafts and all of the spots in this location. I will also be referencing my Monaco farming build a lot later on, which I've discussed in my previous Lumina farming guide. As always, link in the description or click the card here. Sadly, the Contorso weapon trick is not working when farming the merchant, so we will be using my Monaco build for this run. To start the actual method, talk to the merchant and challenge it to a match. Once the fight starts, use the Sakapatat fire skill to end the match quickly. Simply fight the merchant once again to reset the run, rinse and repeat. Each one lasts around 16 to 17 seconds and gives you 1 to 3 Lumina per run, but getting 3 Lumina is a rare occasion while also getting 1 to 3 grandiose catalysts per run. Do this consistently in an hour and we are looking at 225 to 260 Lumina on average and end up 325 plus grandiose catalysts per hour. Not just Monaco, but you can use Mayel as well to one-shot the merchant or your other characters as long you can complete the run with one skill cast. If you're getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Join our Discord server and discuss role-playing games such as this, and I appreciate your support. This is where the list goes spicier, and the Renowar's Drafts creation route method will require the player to farm high-level creation enemies in the same location. For this specific method to work, I've updated my farming build which uses CL, Mayel, and Verso for my main lineup. This build stacks as many damage multipliers as possible while also taking advantage of the auto death and death bomb strategy to make runs faster. The Contorso weapon trick works very well in this setup, so Verso is going to be our main character in this method, so I highly suggest taking the time to follow the exact same build for you to replicate my results later on. Once the build is ready, start the actual method by running towards the nearest creation pack and doing a preemptive strike. Once the fight starts, CL and Mayel will explode and damage the enemy and inflict them with max break and burn stacks in the process. Usually, the explosion will take out the lesser Nevron and end the match by simply shooting the creation with Verso. In just few shots, the creation will drop like a cakewalk. Head to the next pack of creations and do a preemptive strike. The explosion will damage all enemies and apply max break and burning stacks that Verso can take advantage of. Take out the creation on the left first with free aim shots. Then shoot the last creation till it dies. Just in case you are wondering, this method is working because Contorso lets Verso skip to S rank when breaking enemies, and the explosion helps him to do that easily, while stacking all of our damage multipliers on this build. After the fight, head back to the flag to reset the run, rinse and repeat. Each run lasts around 53 to 54 seconds with loading times included, and normally each creation pack gives you 2 Lumina per fight. But thanks to the Contorso double drop trick, you can expect as much as 4 Lumina per pack, giving you a possible crazy 8 Lumina drop for each run. But of course, It is still based on chances, so you will be getting 4 to 8 Lumina per run, along with 4 to 8 Grandiose Catalyst per run. Do this method in an hour and we are looking at a whopping 320 to 358 Lumina and 272 to 402 Grandiose Catalyst per hour. But let's say the Contorso has been patched. My Monaco and Mael builds are viable backup methods to use when farming in this spot. With the same strategy, just use Monaco's Sakapatat Fire skill to destroy both of the creation packs in this method like a cakewalk. Monaco can complete each run with a 50 to 51 seconds clear time with loading times included, giving you 4 Lumina and Grandiose per run. In an hour of consistent farming, expect around 288 Lumina and Grandiose from this method. But what if I told you that you can get as much as 720 Lumina in just 15 minutes or get a mind-blowing 3,000 plus of Lumina per hour? The Chromatic Danseus gives us the ability to do so by killing the Danseus minions over and over. The reason why this method works is that whenever you take out the Danseus minions, she will just replace it with another 2 lesser Danseus for you to kill. Each Danseus can drop 5 Lumina and can be doubled up to 10 Lumina thanks to the Contorso's bug feature, just like what we did in the previous methods. Find this spot by going to Old Lumiere and starting from the entrance flag, head to the intersection of the map and past the merchant. Head past the building where Monaco cut the building in half and head straight to the right following the pile of rubble that will lead you eventually to the train station Ruins flag. Jump to the nearby ledge and follow the straightforward path. Not for long, you will be seeing the Chromatic Danseus guarding the area. Right off the bat, I'm telling you that this setup requires a heavy amount of Lumina, so I highly suggest using my previous Lumina guide so you can stack up the required Lumina in no time. Following this setup will maximize your Lumina gains from this method, so take the time to have the exact build for Mael, Verso, and CL that I'm showing on the screen right now. We need all of the damage multipliers in the world for us to quickly take out the Danseus minions as fast as possible. All of them will be using free aim shots to avoid lengthy attacks or skill animations. To start the actual method, engage the Chromatic Danseus with a preemptive strike. Then let the first character skip his or her turn so the Danseus can summon her minions. The whole strategy is pretty simple. Each party member will take out all of the Danseus minions during their 2 consecutive turns with free aim shots and skip their turn so the Danseus can spawn her minions consistently. Avoid hitting the Chromatic Danseus at all costs to preserve the run as long as possible. So pretty much you can prolong this method as long as you want to, but I don't recommend prolonging it past 1 hour and more into this later. For example, Verso here will take out both of the lesser Danseus with free aim shots, then skip his first turn. Then during Verso's second turn, he will do the same. The same thing applies to Mael. Take out the lesser Danseus with free aim shots, then skip her turn. Then taking out another set of lesser Danseus on her second turn and skipping her turn afterwards. While CL has an additional role in making this method work, she will take out a pair of Danseus during her first turn and skipping the turn afterward. She will then take another pair of Danseus in her second turn. But before ending her second turn, she will use intervention to force Verso to play next to her so we can take advantage of the Contorso's double drop trick more often. This strategy will ensure that we are getting more turns than the Chromatic Danseus because she can mess up your runs if you are not careful with it. If the Chromatic Danseus manages to take her turn, she has 2 attacks that you need to outsmart with. The first one is the dance combo, where you are required to dodge all of the hits to not mess up the run. And the second one is the Danseus gradient attack, which inflicts burn on your members. If this happens, never counter the attack and instead, do nothing and tank the gradient attack. If you counter the gradient attack, surely the Chromatic Danseus will die. To make this setup work, couple of Lumina or Pictos that I want to point out aside from our damage multipliers, which are Anti-Burn Lumina, Aegis Revival, Shielding Tint, Shielding Death, and Second Chance. Equipping these Pictos will let you tank the gradient attacks and resist the burn status while giving you an ample amount of shields just in case you mess up the dodge timing when the Chromatic Danseus pulls her dance combo. Just in case a team member dies, the Second Chance Picto will revive the fallen member and add shields to all party members thanks to the Shielding Death, Lumina, and Aegis Revival. If you need additional shields, you can easily use a Shielding Tint to any party members who is low on shields. Here comes the fun part. If you follow this build and strategy carefully, you are expecting an average of more or less 315 Lumina after doing a 6-minute run and 505 Lumina by doing this method for just 10 minutes. Expect around 720 Lumina per 15 minutes and a whopping 2,000 plus worth of Lumina in just 44 minutes. I managed to prolong this run in an hour and that gave me an out of this world 3,000 plus worth of Lumina, and that is a lot. Even though this method is just one time, it is easy to see that this is the best method in the game if done properly. You can make it a habit to do this method and score a lot of Lumina in every succeeding playthrough. While the main issue that I have with this method is the frame rate tanks significantly when doing this method for more than 30 minutes, since the lesser Danseus emits particles when they die and it accumulates over time, so keep this in mind as it can affect your gameplay drastically. Pick the best method that works best for you and farm Lumina like there's no tomorrow. But what if you just started Act 3 and are looking for the best spots to level up fast? Click on this video and I will catch you on the next one.